So good.
All right. Let's call this to order. Welcome, everybody. Tonight, we will start off with an invocation. Karen, you're still good to do that for us? After which we'll have the pledge by Councilmember Wright.
Our Heavenly Father, we thank Thee for the opportunity to meet together tonight and for the freedom that we enjoy and the community that we have. We ask Thee to guide our discussions this evening and help us to discuss well and have wisdom in our decisions. And we say these things in the name of Thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
If the audience will stand and repeat the pledge with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Grateful that you're all here. I feel like there's a million people out there on this first time that I've ever been Mayor Pro Tem, so I'm a little intimidated up here with all of you, but welcome. Welcome to any scouts or students that might be here. We'd also like to let everybody know that if you want to comment during the public comment portion, that you can go. Are they outside still? So there are forms outside you can fill out if you haven't already to be able to speak during that portion. Is this a new thing? Ask the audience to turn off cell phones? Or does the mayor just choose not to say that? Oh, okay. Never noticed that. Okay.
If you're willing, Mayor Pro Tem, I would motion that we approve the meeting's agenda.
Thank you, Logan.
I'll
Appreciate
second.
that. Great. Is that a roll call vote?
Not a roll call vote.
Was that too wild right there? Do I need to go? Yeah, we're good. Okay. Thanks, Logan, for the help. Appreciate that. Well, let's move on to the ceremonial portion of this. We're going to start off with the Springville Art City Rodeo Royalty. Cammie, let me know how this was going to go. So, do these young ladies want to come up? Great. Come on up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're so kind.
I'm so excited I
that's
can
pretty
hardly
cool.
stand
Wow.
it.
Thank you.
It's a cookie that has printed on it in edible frosting. There's a guy riding a horse with the American flag, and it says Art City Days Hometown Rodeo, which is on June 6th, coming up. Kicks off Art City Days.
It's got to be the most patriotic cookie I've ever had in my whole life.
That's right.
So this is actually our rodeo poster this year.
Awesome.
Hi, my name is Grace Jensen, and I'm the Art City Days Rodeo Princess attendant. I'm 11 years old. I'm in 5th grade going into 6th grade. I go to Harbor Creek Elementary School, and I'm about to go to Springville Middle School. I have a horse named Cooper that I like to ride in 4-H. If I'm not riding horses, I'm either making dances with my friends, doing arts or crafts, or doing gymnastics. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ezra Simmons, and I'm your Art City Day princess. I go to school at Lincoln Academy, and I'm in 7th grade. If I'm not riding my horse or at school, I love to do arts and crafts with my friends. I ride a horse named Alani. She's an Arabian. We have done the 4-H county shows, which is so fun because in 2024 and in 2025, we went to state and we were nominated for state. It was really fun to see all of the amazing people and what they were doing in the community to help others. We also have gotten a new horse and a member of the family named Swayze. She's barely 3, so I'm really excited to break her this summer, and I'm really excited to represent Art City Days.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Emma Caldwell. I'm the second attendant for this year's rodeo, and I'm 15 years old, and I just finished my freshman year at Springville Junior High School. I ride a black horse named Moose who lives at Bridle at Pope Mapleton, which is also where I work to take care of the barn and the property. When I'm not riding horses, I enjoy playing the guitar and spending time with my friends and family. I love all these girls like they're my sisters, and I cannot wait for the rodeo this year. Thank you. Hi, my name is Mackenzie Parker. I am your Art City Days first attendant. I'm 17 years old and I just finished my junior year at Pleasant Grove High School. When I'm not at the gym tumbling, at the barn riding my horse, or hanging out with my friends, I love to get my nails done. I can't wait to represent Art Days City Rodeo this summer with all these amazing girls. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Avery Hewitt. I am your Art City Days Rodeo Queen. I'm 17 years old and I just finished my junior year at Lone Peak High School. And next year, for my senior year, I will be attempting to graduate early to go start my pre-vet program at Utah State University. When I'm not at the barn riding or teaching lessons, I also teach piano lessons and guitar lessons. And I also work at a retirement home. And on behalf of the Art City Days Rodeo Committee and Hobble Creek Riding Club, we invite you to join us at the Art City Days Rodeo on June 6th, and we hope you can come.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tammy, how do people get involved in this? How do they become a rodeo queen?
So we hold the competition every year. You have to be 18 years old or younger. You just show up on the day of the competition. They ride their horse in a pattern and answer some questions. We do have a judge that makes the choice for us.
Cool.
So, and it is a judge that is not associated with the rodeo or riding club in any way, so it's totally impartial.
Awesome. Thank you. And thanks again, girls. Appreciate that. Great. Okay. We're going to turn the time over to Josh Yost. Are you here? You've got a presentation for us?
Tonight we have the opportunity to recognize Genevieve Baker as one of our long-serving planning commissioners. Genevieve, would you like to come up? Genevieve served on the Planning Commission from 2014 to 2026. So we usually do about 22 meetings a year, so that turns into more than 260 meetings. And for the past couple of years, Genevieve has served as our chair. And we're very sad to see her go. She, with all of that tenure, became really accomplished at facilitating meetings, asking probing questions, and really moderating public comment and public hearings. And she's the last remaining planning commissioner on the commission that was here when I started here about 7 years ago. So it really feels like a change. So we're so happy to be able to congratulate her. And the first thing we have is this framed name plaque or name badge. And this is actually Councilmember Ellingson's fault, because when she ended her time on the Planning Commission, she said, I want my name. And so we said, well, we can't just give you your name. So now everybody gets their name matted in a frame, recognizing their terms of service. And
That's kind of sad.
I didn't ask for that.
And then from council and administration, we have this beautiful glass plaque commemorating your service.
That's lovely. Thank you.
So thank you so much, Genevieve.
Yep.
Thank you,
Thank you for your
Yes,
service.
thank you.
Genevieve, do you have a speech for us that you want to give?
Into the microphone for Mike's sake.
I just want to say thank you to the mayors that have allowed me to be on the Planning Commission and to serve Springville this way. It's been just a real delight to get to work with so many different planning commissioners and to talk to and see so many citizens of Springville come in and to do my part to look forward towards a ever better Springville. Thank you.
Thank you, Genevieve.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Okay. I'm really excited for this one. Not that I wasn't for Genevieve and the rodeo group. We're going to turn some time over to John Penrod to talk about the cool cleaning crew.
Yes. I'm going to introduce this award, and then I'm going to actually turn some time over to Brooke Simpson, who's going to introduce these wonderful, this crew here. It's amazing. I actually saw them in action, and they do great work. And so I'm excited to see them tonight. I think we all should be very glad they're in our community. So this award that we're giving out is called the Art City Spirit Award. The council knows about it. And what it is it's an award for people who do good in our community and make our community a better, more wonderful, beautiful place. And that's what these kids have done. It originated with two artists that help us become the Art City, and that's back in the early 1900s. Actually, 1903, this guy right here, Cyrus Dallin, gifted a Paul Revere statue, or at least a model of a Paul Revere statue that's very famous. It's in Boston by the Old North Church. He also has done a lot of other statues. In fact, if you look at an LDS temple, you'll see the Captain Moroni up there, or the Angel Moroni, I apologize. And he did that same thing. So he's a very well-known sculptor. And then the other artist that donated something to the city same year was John Hafen, and that's what you see here. And from these two artworks, we now are the Art City. So they helped us to do some really good things in Springville, and these kids tonight have also contributed to Springville in a big way. So I'm going to turn some time over to Brooke.
Thank you. So there are two members here that we would like to recognize with the Spirit of Springville Award, and they were the ones that were the founders of the Cool Cleaning Crew. So if we could have Raylan Jenkins and Hank Skinner come up. So this is the picture that he was talking about of one of the first artists here in Springville. So you get a copy of that, and then you get a water bottle with the statue on it. And we're so grateful that you guys had this idea, and then that you got all of these other friends that actually would come join you. So if we could have all of the members of the Cool Cleaning Crew just come up for a minute and just line up right in front of here. We have just a little treat for all of you guys, for all of your hard work and for making Springville and helping keep Springville such a great place to live. So if you'll just back up just a little bit, we're going to get a couple pictures.
And parents can come up too and take pictures.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll explain a little bit more about what they've done. Is that each Thursday, they decided that they wanted to do something to make Springville better. So each Thursday, they meet together at 4:30, and they go to a different park around Springville and they pick up trash, and then they have treats. And so it's a time that they can actually do a little bit of service for the city of Springville, and then they can get together and they can play for a little bit and have treats. So they've done it for the last couple months, and then they're going to keep doing it during the summer, but they're going to do a different time. I think Mom said that you're going to do it a little more in the morning. And then each time I go and visit with them, the group gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So that is so awesome, and we're so grateful that you guys want to give back. And if you guys are already at this age and you're already giving back to your community, I can only imagine, we all are so grateful and can only imagine what you guys are going to be able to do as you grow up and continue to do that service for all of us. So thank you so much.
And just one thing too, no adult really had this idea to push this. These two that got this Art City Spirit Award, it was all their idea, and so it's pretty amazing.
That's them.
Good job, guys. Well, and I saw that this story made it onto the news, and while that's really cool that you guys were on the news, it also means that you got to represent Springville to everybody in Utah and Idaho who watches the news. So thank you for representing Springville by doing good things.
How does somebody go about joining this cool cleaning crew?
Hey,
Oh, there's a Facebook group. I'm just going to say it into the microphone so that anybody that's listening can hear.
Everybody come together. Come together.
Cool Cleaning Crew on Facebook if you want to join.
do we want to get some council members down here? This way.
Oh, Joey, you
I think we're all in it right here.
Yeah. Yeah, we just like scooch.
Okay, then can I have you look over this way just for a quick second? Okay, give me your best smiles. Oh, are you ready now? Oh, we gotta make sure we're ready. Okay, oh, I love it, love it. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for making Springville so great.
Thank you so much.
What a great thing. Thank you so much. And thank you to all the parents who are helping put this together and get these kids there and organize it. It's awesome that this was started by the youth, but thank you to the parents as well for the support. Okay, we'll move forward.
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I think I have to vote.
Technically, yes, you're permitted to vote. You don't have
I don't have to on this one?
Yeah, four,
Great.
so.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, we'll move forward with the regular agenda. John?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and council members. This is an item that is coming back from the last council meeting. I'm getting my words all mixed up tonight. I apologize. And what we're dealing with is a property that's at 950 West and 550 North. It's on some raw property right now that's owned by a family farm. And one of the members of the family wants to build a house. They've asked to not have to put sidewalks since there's no improvements around the property. This is something that has been done before, as we've talked about in previous meetings. So there's a deferral agreement that's before the council. That deferral agreement would require the sidewalk in a future date, not today, based upon a couple different triggers. One of the reasons why this was continued today was to make some changes to that deferral agreement. The changes that were asked to be made were that nothing would be built within or landscaped within the area that would impede the building of the sidewalk. So they could put grass where the sidewalk would be, but they can't put big trees, that sort of thing. Also, too, another change that has been made is that they can put an accessory building on this property as long as it meets the code, but that wouldn't trigger the sidewalk going in. There was 2 other items, one that was brought up in the last council meeting, and I sent out 2 different agreements to this group dealing with the financing, and that was brought up that maybe they pay right now what the cost would be. We hold that in escrow, and then we true it up when the sidewalk goes in. That amount, just based upon bids that we have received from different contractors for sidewalk on different projects that we are doing, is about $20,000 for this property. It's 400 linear feet of sidewalk, and it's right around $50 a linear foot is what we recently received when you average the sidewalk costs out. So that's in one of the agreements, and then something else was brought up by another member. It was actually Mayor Pro Tem Smith. He brought up that it would be good to have another trigger, that if this property changes hands, if ownership, they sell it to somebody outside the family, at that point that it would trigger having to put the sidewalk in as well. And so that's not in the agreement. If you want to put that in your motion, we can put that in the agreement. And so again, it's before you. There was almost a motion last time about doing the financing and doing some of these other things. We brought an agreement back, and that's where it is right now. Now, with the financing, to me, it makes sense to require money to go into escrow if this is a project that looks like it's going to be done in the next 5 to 10 years. Once you get too far out there, though, these things tend to get lost. And so if it's a project that is going to be done, sidewalk's going to go in 15, 20 years, then it starts to be in a situation where, yeah, right now they pay the 20, but then it might get lost between now and then type thing. So any questions for me?
You took it back to the Yules and had a conversation?
Yep. I've been in communication with Chase Ewell, who is one of the owners on this property. So, yes.
Are they okay with that? The terms?
They're okay with the terms. I mean, I still think the one term that they probably would push back on is the $20,000, but they're okay with everything else. And again, just because at some point it would be true up. So it's up to you, though, how you want to do it. So, and they are here if you want to talk to them.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak for them, too. So if I said something wrong, they can definitely correct me or throw something at me. So, okay.
Can we let them have some time to talk?
Of course.
Would you like some time to talk?
You're in charge.
I guess I'm in charge today, so please come talk.
Yes, thank you, council members, and thank you, John. Chase Ewell.
Maddie Condi Ewell. So I grew up on this farm, and just a background, my grandpa worked this farm, my dad worked this farm, I grew up working it, and our goal is to have our kids work it, and my brother also lives there, his kids are working it. So I mean, in the foreseeable future, we don't plan on developing it in the near 5 years, 10 years. Our goal would be to raise our kids there, have our family there, and then 20, 30 years from now, who knows, but at least in the near future, that's not any family member's goal. It's to maintain a farm and keep it kind of that family farm that we were raised on.
And I think with the sidewalk, what we're looking to do is putting a sidewalk in when it makes most logical sense. With what we're looking at here, if you were to zoom out, there's about 50 acres that is Condi Farms. And so this house would go on an acre of land, and the sidewalk would then be going into the farm, and it wouldn't actually lead anywhere. We're also bringing in dirt to be at the grade behind the curb, so that sidewalk also has a drop off, which could be it could be unsafe. And so really what we're trying to do is what Maddie said, we're trying to keep it a family farm as long as possible. And then also, like, we understand the need for a sidewalk when there is a full development. And that's the reason that we've worked with John and worked with you guys to see when does this make most logical sense to put in a sidewalk. And at this point, the way the land is and just building the house, we don't feel like it does make logical sense to add it right now.
Great. Thank you. Appreciate that.
There is one other item that I failed to mention. We did talk last time about having some kind of ADA pad so you can go from corner to corner to corner. In the last meeting, I didn't put this in the agreement because our Public Works Director, I don't see him, but in the last meeting he said that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense.
It was in the notes.
And I've kind of decided that doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted
I'm
to,
okay with
I
that.
didn't want to sidestep that if somebody wanted to bring it up, so I do apologize.
Okay. Anything else from you guys?
No, I think you
Unless
guys.
have questions.
Yeah. If there's any questions.
I would be in favor of going ahead and approving this if we kept these three, was it three amendments? Would you be okay with that, with keeping those three?
I think the one that we're hesitant on is what John mentioned is the payment terms. I think the way that the agreement has been written, it will hold us liable to paying to improve it anyways. I think what we want to try to avoid is this isn't in the plan to develop anytime soon. If we put money in an escrow account and then we go 10, 15, 20 years down the line, and if that does get lost or changes hands for some reason, I think that's a concern.
For sure.
Or something that I heard brought up was the value of the money today versus 20 years from now. How are we going to figure out the interest that the city earned holding that money, or what's the inflation rate on that?
Correct, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it would make sense for me if this was a 5 or 10 year thing, but I mean, given your plan, I wouldn't recommend it. How do you guys feel? Any other discussion?
Well, it's only going to get more expensive to install, and you're good with still paying out more money later on?
That is correct.
Yeah. And I mean, we don't want to fight the sidewalk, but we do want to put it in when it does make sense, like Chase said. Like, we don't want to put something in where it's, we don't have the plan, so then we're going to have to take it out. And then the city, we just want to have a plan, make it make logical sense. I mean, we love Springville, so we kind of want to work together on this instead of, I don't know, doing it separately and it not being cohesive.
Are there sidewalks to nowhere on that piece of property right now? Like where your dad lives or lived?
There's no
Does your dad still live there?
Yeah, there's no sidewalks on my dad's property or my brother's.
There was a similar agreement in place with the
So
Yeah.
with the brother property, there's a similar agreement. One of the differences is that is away from a corner. This is at a corner. Engineers really like to make things happen at corners. And so originally that's one of the reasons why the engineers were really pushing back more so on this one than on the brothers. So.
And do we have any landscaping issues if they were to put in a sidewalk now? Did they put landscaping where a sidewalk should be on the brother's property? Yeah. Is there any issues with that?
There are some improvements that the brother has put in. That provision, though, was not in the agreement that the brother and his wife had signed, though. So, but even if there are improvements, you can still, you can rip them out and put other things. It just makes it more difficult.
I think landscaping-wise also, though, as far as I'm concerned, they don't have trees up front in there.
It's
So
simple landscaping.
Yeah.
It's mostly rock.
Yeah, it's mostly rock, so.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I don't have any other questions for the Ewells. I don't know. The escrow account makes a lot of sense. Seems just like an extra layer of complication. So I'm fine with striking that out.
Mike, do you have anything? I know that you're on.
Yeah, I don't have anything more to add than what I've done before. I just wanted to reiterate that I see no need to put a sidewalk in at this point. I fully agree with what's written in the agreement in terms of putting the sidewalk in. And I don't want to require them to post a $20,000 escrow account. I don't see the need for that. So, I've had that position since we started to discuss this, and so I did want to reiterate it tonight.
Thanks, Mike. Karen, anything further from you?
No, I think that the changes that have been made to the agreement are reasonable, and they should help us to move forward without running into problems later on, make things a little bit more clear. So, but with all the concerns that I brought up with the escrow account, I'm fine with taking that out.
Okay. John,
Just
you look
one.
like you have something to say.
No, the one thing that is in the agreement is what I brought up, and again, Mayor Pro Tem, that was your suggestion to me individually, and that is if the property changes hands, meaning it goes to it's sold to a non-family member, that then the sidewalk would have to go in at that time. So,
How do we define family member?
well, I could make sure that's in there. You just tell me what you want in there, and I can make sure it's in there.
Because we're all the human family.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good point. It won't be that broad though, if you ask me to do it. So.
So
Are
if
you
we
guys
make
okay
a
with-
motion, we need to add the if ownership changes hands.
Yes, because that is not in the agreement. I just had one person make that comment, so I
And
wanted
that,
to bring that.
so it would be that they would need to put it in before it's sold, correct?
Yes.
Because we don't want to put that on anybody else that has to come in. This was something we did with you guys.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Okay. If there's nothing else, I'd entertain a motion.
Do we need to specify which agreement? Because there are multiple agreements. Is there an agreement number?
No, there's not agreement number. What I'd do is just specify the agreement, and then the only two things you'd have to really address is the escrow money or the change of ownership issue. So those are only two things. Everything else is already in the agreement.
Those need to be added if they're,
Well, there's two different agreements. So if you say the agreement without the escrow money or the agreement with the escrow money, gets us to one, and then add the provision that has the ownership change, and then we can make that happen.
Okay.
Good luck.
Then I move to approve resolution number 2026-13, approving an agreement with Chase and Madison Yule that will require improvements to be installed at a later date. The agreement to not include escrow payments for the improvements, and to include a provision for the installment of improvements if the property is to change hands to a non-familiar owner.
I will second that.
Great. It's a roll call vote. Logan?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Mindy?
Yes.
Do I vote?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, council.
And then just one clarification on there to make sure, because it'll be transcribed by Kim later. I kind of heard familiar, family, it was non-family
Familial.
member. Is that what you were saying? Great, we'll get it that way.
Okay. Thank you. That was a very good motion. Thanks. Yeah.
Thanks for working with us, both of
Yes,
you.
thank you. We appreciate it.
Yep.
Good luck.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay. We have Jed presenting.
Hello, council. My name's Jed Nilsson. I'm Springville City Building Inspector. Let's see. I have a slide show for you. This is, let's see, right here. I brought this to you. Actually, I didn't bring it to council last time, but I did bring it to work session, so some of you are aware of it. What have I done?
Is this your slide?
I guess so. There's my slide. So as a building inspector, I deal with all of our residential and some of our commercial construction here in town. We currently have wording in our code that prohibits basements to be built west of 4th West. There was a provision put into that code approximately about a year ago that allowed basements based on the slope of the road, because we had to, the road had to be brought up for sewer grade so we could get everything to flow downhill. With that wording, it allowed what we would call a walkout basement. and the wording has created issue and is not very clear. It does not create a solid, definable line of where that person's final grading, their dirt, should end up on their lot, of how they should slope it. Currently, how it's worded, the wording states that the base floor elevation has to be above final grade. So when you think about that, your dirt then has to be below your basement level, which is impractical for any construction company to do, residential or any homeowner. So I just would like to strike the amendment, that, would it be amendment? Is that the right term? That was added approximately about a year ago, and just take it back to our original wording, that no basement is allowed west of 4th West. I'm not opposed to future coming back and changing that if we have better wording, but I would like the input of our stakeholders, our homeowners and our builders that are coming to the city. I don't want to present wording to you guys that doesn't benefit us all. So I would just like to strike that previous wording that created an exemption. Do you have any questions for me?
I do.
You do?
Sorry, who probably has the same question.
just context. This amendment was put in for the particular cul-de-sac. It was like, what, 650 West?
Yes, sir.
Where the sewer drainage made the road come up much higher.
Yes.
So pretty much most of the Westfields, we do not allow basements. There are some places that have them, but it was just for that particular subdivision, and it's created some headaches, and now we're just going to strike it. Okay.
And when we last spoke, you guys asked me to reach out to the property owner of the remaining lot that has not been built on. I have sent a letter to them. I sent it last week. I have not heard any word. I invited them to this council meeting to present if they have any objection. I don't know that they're here. So.
Okay. And that was my question, was whether or not you'd had a response from the property owner.
I gave them my my office number and email, and actually, sorry, not my email, just my phone number, and I have not heard word from them. So.
Okay.
And you just sent the letter last week?
It went out Monday. Yes, ma'am.
Monday of
This Monday?
like yesterday Monday?
No, not yesterday Monday. Last week Monday. I don't know what day.
Where was it mailed to?
It was mailed to Linden.
Out of state.
Cool.
So that's what I would like you guys to vote on tonight, to strike that exemption wording for base floor elevation for residential lots only.
John, any concerns?
No, basically they're doing just repealing what was put into place in the last year or two. So it would take it back to there. We'll probably have to deal with this in the future if somebody comes to build on that and sees other houses have it. And at that point, we can put something in that makes more sense.
What if we were to put an effective date, if we approve this, of June 1st, in case their mail is delayed, and give them an opportunity to raise any concerns?
That becomes a little bit dicey because it would be a pending ordinance. And once there's a pending ordinance, well, this would be different because this is in Title 10, isn't it?
Title 10, yes, sir.
That would work because then if they bring something in before June 1st, it'd be fine. So.
Okay.
A suggestion that was also made to me is, and I don't know how the wording would work in the ordinance, that we create an exception for this one lot that, as we strike this, it wouldn't apply to them until they are built out, and then everywhere else.
That would achieve the same purpose?
It would, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we'd have to put some wording in there, though, to make that happen.
Correct.
And so,
for parcel number.
yes.
That's what we have to do.
So, I mean, you could do it in a way that it would work, but with what's before you tonight, it might be good just to move forward to repeal it, and then we could bring something back.
Do we have any other contact information for these people than just an address? Can we email? Could we call them?
I could not find anything. I just went to Utah County Parcel Maps trying to find an owner. It is under a business, is what's listed on the title, and all I could find was an address for that business.
Okay, thanks.
And it was a residential home. I Google mapped it. It was a residential home.
Thanks for doing that research.
Yes, thank you.
Yep. Okay.
I don't love the idea of creating an exemption for this particular parcel. I imagine that if they had some issues with it, we could give them some wiggle room where they could raise those issues. But also we can work with them if they choose to develop in a way that we're talking about in the future, rewriting the code to be a lot more clear to get what we desire for this part of our community. So if working with this developer of this particular parcel gets us to that clarity,
It's possible.
that seems as great as anything else.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
Did you want the what do you even call that, postponement date or
The effective date?
effective date? There we go.
Yes.
How do you three feel about that?
I like it.
I'm fine with it.
Can I
I'd
clarify?
rather have
clarify
that than
one thing? I have not seen anything brought to the city for potential building on this lot either, just kind of so you guys are aware.
I like giving them a little bit more time, but not the
Yeah.
exemption. Yeah.
Before I do make a motion, this ordinance says it also applies to the wildland urban interface regulations we spoke about. Do you want to speak on those before?
I can, yes. Josh, were we splitting those two ordinances? Okay, then yes, I will continue to the wildland urban interface. Sorry, I thought we were going to split it, so I wanted.
Oh, okay. I
you
wasn't
guys to
sure
vote.
how it was written. So.
So this is coming from the state. This is House Bill 48 that was signed. It was signed last year, but then signed again because they had to. Well, I'll back up. Backstory. The state created a wildland urban face map that caused tighter building restrictions in certain locations, and that map was provided by the Division of Division of Lands, the guys who deal with fire.
Forestry, fire, and state lands?
Yes, I believe it was from them. Sorry, Chief Chief Clinton and I discussed this, so he has some information that I don't know as well as he does. But it came from that group. But it is requiring tighter building restrictions in certain locations. Park City would be like a huge one. You know, they have a huge, they're very close to a lot of timber that is very flammable. Here in Springville, we don't have hardly as much. So based on the map provided by the state, we only have 3 locations, 3 homes on the northeast end up above McDonald's that would have tighter building restrictions currently. But this is a state mandate that we, or state required that we update or adopt a wildland urban interface building code. And that is a building code provided by the International Code Council. That's where all of our other building codes come from. That's what I enforce on a daily basis. It requires this, but it also says if we choose not to adopt it, then we are on the hook for the funding to fight fires in our jurisdiction. So anything that starts on fire up on the hillside, the funding would have to come from the city if we choose not to adopt this. My recommendation would be that we do, because that could be a very huge bill. Part of this bill also gives additional funding to our fire department for additional training. So I don't see a negative to this, but
Do we know how much
how much what?
money for the department?
I do not
for
know
training.
That would be a question for Chief Clinton. Yes. I'm focusing more on the building code side of things rather than.
Understand? Just a question.
Yeah, it's not direct funding, it's support from the state in a wildfire, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
So this second bullet should say to fight wildfires, not wildlife?
Yes.
Okay.
My apologies.
Did I miss something?
I threw this together very quickly tonight because I was like, oh, I need to show you guys something, but yes, that is my apologies.
No, I'm just glad we don't have a battlefront I wasn't aware of here.
No, we don't. So that is my recommendation to you guys to adopt this.
Okay.
Okay. Am I okay to make a motion,
Please
Mayor
do.
Pro Tem? Okay, I motion that we approve ordinance number 15-2026, amending Springville City Code Title 10, Building and Construction, to comply with Title 15, Chapter 2, Part 203 of Utah State Code, and amending Springville City Code, Section 10-1-105, base floor elevation, to be effective June 1st, 2026.
I'll second.
Great, thank you. It's a roll call vote. Mike, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, Mindy?
Yes.
Yes from me. Logan?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Passes, thank you.
I've got, just John, we've got the effective date written in the ordinance. Do we need to get that in writing, or is what they've done sufficient here tonight? So it's section 2 there in the ordinance. So it says the ordinance shall take effect upon publication or is posted as required by law, but the motion has it becoming effective on June 1st. So maybe on the signature copy, we change it in writing so that.
Right now, I'll rip out the page and I'll write June 1st on there, and then we can go.
I think we have a signature copy here that you could.
Okay, let's just do that, and then that'll be good.
Do they need to re-vote, or the vote's sufficient? Okay. All right. So the signed copy will have the date on it as the motion reflects. Okay, I think we're good.
Great. Thank you, Jed.
Thank you, council.
Thanks a bunch.
Thank you.
Okay, Tyson, you're up. I thought he was up. Jake, are you pinch hitting? I mean, we could move on to the next one if we want to wait a second to give him a minute. Can we do that, Troy? Okay. Why don't we go to number 9?
Hey.
Jake? Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, Mayor Pro Tem Smith, I need to jump off if that's okay.
That's great. Thank you for being here.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.
Okay, Mayor Pro Tem Council, thank you for being here tonight. I'm here to talk about some property, see if we can consider a resolution to purchase a parcel owned by SUPS down on the 1600 South corridor there. You can kind of see in the picture, it's right near 1600 South and 1200 West. That's the Dry Creek substation you see just off to the left.
Bless you.
This is some property the city would like to acquire to preserve a 1200 West phase roadway. It's part of the Phase 3 project. And then with permission, just allow staff to go ahead and proceed with the agreements and stuff to make this finalize. There's a layout there kind of shown in that picture that will show the new 1200 West layout. Currently the roadway there does connect to 1600 South, but will need realigned as 600 South finishes development and the Tinnick road line changes.
This will allow us to take a left-hand turn there.
It will, yeah, and it'll be a few years down the road. The Tinnick line's got to make its adjustments. And then also there'll be some remnant property beyond the scope with this purchase that we'll use for a regional detention pond in the future that matches our master plan designs and need for that. So it'll be a dual purpose purchase. The funding now will, sorry, before I jump ahead, and SUPS is ready and wanting to sell this property. They actually approached us and they seen that we had a need for it. They're ready to move the property to do some other things with the funding on their side. So timing's is working out both really well for the city and the current owners. They provided an estimate or a evaluation of the property with this that $875,000 for the 2.29 acres. That's a fair price. We see the study was done well and correct. So that's the we agreed to pay for it as well. The funding is in the fiscal year 26 budget in the streets division, so there's no budget adjustments that we need to make or ask for here. Just the consideration to go ahead and move forward with the purchase. And it is within the MAG funding corridor. We have some interlocal agreements in place with the county for that, so we will be able to request reimbursement for this purchase from MAG. And so MAG, the intent is for MAG to go ahead and we'll ask for that reimbursement for the full funding now. Once the design, the roadway and everything goes in, we know what the remnant piece is for the detention pond. We'll then go pay MAG back for the portion that is sold to basically the storm drain fund at that time for the and it'll be paid for out of impact fees.
Okay.
So yeah, our recommendation, it's go ahead and approve this resolution to move forward with this purchase and allow staff to take care of any agreements and purchase agreements to finalize this. That's already underway. We've got the agreements drafted and into our contract approval process where they're moving right along, and they're I believe ready for the mayor's signature now. So after tonight, this should move pretty quickly, and then following the purchase, then we'll go ahead and go request the reimbursement from the county on that agreement for the MAG money.
Great, thank you. Any discussion or questions?
One of my questions is just, do I need to recuse myself if I serve on the SUVPS board?
I don't think so. I think you need to name it, but you have, as long as you can vote and do what's in the best interest of Springville City, then I don't think you need to recuse yourself.
Okay.
But you've now stated that, so.
And then one of my other questions too was the 1200 West Road that is currently on SUVPS's property just to the west of this parcel. How did that get built? Did we have an agreement with them way back when, or?
Yes, we did. I wasn't around when that happened, but we had an agreement. It went in. I think we were supposed to receive the property, but we had a lot of development going in at that time, and there was some things missed here and there. So I don't know exactly what the deal was or anything else, but they did allow us to build the road there.
Okay.
This will be nice to clean that up, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Great. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll motion to approve resolution number 2026-18, authorizing the purchase of approximately 2.29 acres of property from Southern Utah Valley Power Systems, SUVPS, located at 1206 West, 1600 South, and authorizing city staff to execute all necessary agreements and documents required to complete the acquisition up to $875,000.
Second.
That's really long.
Okay, I'll go ahead and second it. I just felt a little uncomfortable, but yeah, I will second that.
Oh, I thought you were saying you were seconding.
I was just asking for a second. Could I have seconded that if I wanted to?
Just to make it
To make it clear, if you feel uncomfortable, then you have the ability to recuse yourself. So
we still have a quorum.
Yeah, you still have a quorum and everything else, and so I don't want you to do anything that you feel uncomfortable doing.
I mean, I don't really feel uncomfortable. I just always want to avoid even, the appearance or any particular possibility of appearance of conflict of interest. So
one of the reasons why you're on that board is to represent the city.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as long as you can make it clear what you're doing and what's.
Well, and I do feel that purchasing this property is in the best interest of the city. It's a win-win situation for SUVPS, but will definitely be good for us.
So do you feel okay to give us your second?
Yeah.
Okay.
To your question, yeah, you're acting as a council member as well. So you can second it. Generally speaking, when we have sufficient council members here, you're acting as the mayor, but you have the full ability to act as a council member.
Thank you. Great. We have a first and second. I will vote yes. Logan?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Mindy?
Yes.
And Mike's gone. So.
Thank you.
Okay.
or you're gonna?
You want to do it? Thanks, Brad.
I won't do the presentation. This is basically the same presentation that you received in the work session. What I'm going to do is just give a brief overview in the staff report for public record. And just go through, so there'll be a little bit of a rerun here. In essence, the state is going through and looking at small water providers. For example, anything greater, I think, was 14 providers. The state's going in and making sure that their systems are correct, and they also have somebody that's in charge of that system. In the case of Holiday Hills, they're going through and they found out that they needed some repairs done in their system. So what they've done is they've applied for a grant to do those repairs and redo the system. What the state's requiring from us is something stating, from the city, is stating that we have surplus water, which means that the city's water sources, what we can provide, is greater than the need of our community itself, because they're outside of our community, but they're still in our service area. And so what this does is it allows what we call a surplus water agreement that allows them to prove to the state that there's a water source, which is the city, and from that, then they can get the grant funding to do the repairs and the fixing up their system. And so that's the basis of what we're doing here. So in essence, we're asking the council, and it's I think this is an ordinance or a resolution, I'm not sure. Resolution. It's a resolution to go through and allow that to happen. Now, within the agreement itself, the city does have the right to pull out of the agreement if they need to. One of the reasons would be is if we don't have enough water to service our community, then we can end that agreement with them. And so it does not put the city at risk inside our community here. Okay, is that a good enough overview for what we're doing?
And it's a 40-year agreement, right?
It is a 40-year
agreement. They can't do anything less.
But again, we can actually pull out of that way before the 40 years if we don't have the water.
And then their rates will go up as our rates go up within our commercial rates or our.
Yes.
Okay.
But also, just to note, in the fee schedule itself, there's also a rate that the Canyon water users are paying, which helps for maintenance and other things for us, our crews, to go up outside of our city limits to do maintenance for them. So there is, and I think it's $20.38 or something like that.
But we don't have to maintain their system. We just maintain our system.
We maintain our system. We're not maintaining their system.
You may want to just double check that one, because this group is on the master meter rates. I'm not 100% certain that out of city rate applies.
Yeah, we'll check into that then. That may not be accurate.
Where exactly is this up the canyon?
It's left-hand fork.
Somewhere.
Just past the.
Yeah, it's
called Squaw Peak Road.
No, it's up left-hand fork, and it's at the turnoff to go up to Hobble Creek Haven or to our upper tanks. Hobble Creek Haven is the name of the road, isn't
Holiday
it?
Hill.
I know.
Yeah.
It's on the other side of the street, and
Right.
you drop down, but that's where it is, up left-hand fork.
Yeah.
So it's roughly a mile up left-hand fork.
And they said they were established clear back in the 70s, that neighborhood. So we've been servicing them but they could not find any agreement. Not that there wasn't one, but they can't find an agreement that we ever had with them to provide surplus water.
Well, this
Before.
is important.
Isn't that intersection the Polhaven? Isn't Polhaven right there?
It's past
That's
Polhaven.
Yeah, it's past it. Polhaven's further down
Is
the
there
canyon.
another little community that's right there that drops down the hill? Or am I just completely off?
Well, we could pull it up on the map and look.
It's okay, it doesn't matter.
It is the one down off the hill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's a number of small, little neighborhoods up Left Fork Canyon.
Yeah, and remember, we serve other people besides Holiday Hills and Hobble Creek Haven, which are more than 14, which the state requires that they become their own water system. Holiday Hills Water District, I guess is what they're calling them now.
To Mindy's point about a lack of an agreement from the 70s, I understood during our work session, Tyson was saying that they likely do have legal claim when that was established, though we haven't found the documentation yet, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Is that?
For example, with Hobble Creek Haven, which has about 42 lots, and this has been a long time ago, but I remember seeing will serve letters for each individual parcel up there, but we don't know where they are. This was
Okay.
a long time ago that I
So
saw.
it would be a parcel by parcel thing. So in some
On
ways,
some, it's parcel by parcel. It could be on Holiday Hills. It could have been by their actual HOA.
okay.
We don't have that, but we've been serving them for decades.
Mm-hmm. So would this agreement, I mean, when this expires in 40 years, if the future council decides not to renew that agreement, those service letters you're mentioning would still be in force, I assume?
If they could be found, yeah.
Well, this is something we've been discussing and debating back and forth. I mean, the policy actually from the 60s for the city council was the city council approved every connection up the canyon. So we could probably engage Kim and her staff and kind of dig back through that. But there's the legal question of once we've agreed to service somebody in culinary water, the removal of that obviously has an impact on their ability to live. And so the legal ramifications for that are a little bit unknown, regardless of kind of the contractual arrangement.
Yeah, the other place we might be able to find something's at the county, because they would not approve a subdivision back in the 70s unless there was an assurance water was going to that subdivision. So.
Okay. Would anybody like to make a motion?
I will, let's see, we're number 8, right?
Yep.
Yes. Move to approve resolution number 2026-17, approving the surplus water service agreement between Springville City and the Holiday Hills Water District, authorizing the mayor to execute the document as presented.
I'll second.
Great. Logan?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Yes from me. Mindy?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, number 10, Josh.
Oh, all the presentations got closed. Just a second. Thank you. I have a couple items before you tonight. The first one, are really two related items dealing with property surrounding the intersection of 1400 North and Main Street. These properties have been purchased by the Springville Rising entity of the Clyde Companies, or Clyde Capital, to develop in harmony with their under construction corporate headquarters just across the street. You can actually go to our new EMAP imagery, and we have new enough aerial that you can see the footings in for that building, and they've just started in the last couple of days dismantling the north addition onto the foundry to start work on the renovation and reconstruction of the foundry building. So it's an exciting project up there. Would encourage you to make use of your connections on the council to get construction tours through there. There are very few mass timber buildings being built in Utah, and most of them are, well, the other two are resorts. But it's a construction method that you don't see a lot, and a level of design and attention that's similar to what we see out at Wavetronics with these legacy kind of owner-user companies. It'll be a great project. So after that aside, we're looking tonight at the property to the rear and to the east and southeast of the 7-Eleven at the southeast intersection of 1400 North and Main Street. And we're also looking at the property to the north of the 7-Eleven and to the east of the Automax dealership on Main Street. So the north, east, and southeast corners. So to start out, just to help us all remember and be on the same page about what these documents do. The general plan is our policy level vision for how an area of the city should develop over time and into the future. It's perspective, and it's policy level, and it's non-regulatory. This is a copy of the land use map that was printed in our currently adopted general plan. zoning, on the other hand, is the regulatory tool that actually governs the land use. It's the rules. It has everything from uses and setbacks, height limits, can have design standards, landscaping, all of those things that are the rules of the game for development. And they're really related because the general plan gives us the long-term direction and policy, and the zoning implements that vision. The plan tells us where we want to go, and the zoning tells us the directions for getting there. So, vision and the law. This general plan amendment is, the general plan is a policy document, and the recommendation that comes to you from the City Council tonight is a policy recommendation, essentially making a recommendation as to what we think the city should do or how the city should plan for this property in the future. At the Planning Commission, we had a public hearing and they made a recommendation to council. There were no comments from the public, which was interesting because we had a very well,
Publicized? Noted?
what do you call it when a social media post does well? We had a social media post that got a lot of traction, and we hung flyers on all the doors of the houses in the neighborhoods immediately to the east. So the whole street north and south, from the south of the McDonald's lot up to the cul-de-sacs behind 7-Eleven to the cul-de-sacs behind McDonald's. And we didn't have anybody come out. The Planning Commission made a unanimous recommendation to you to adopt this general plan amendment. And then it comes to you to consider their recommendation and to enact or act on the amendment. The zoning amendment, on the other hand, really is that regulatory document and is a recommendation to adopt a law. The Planning Commission again held a public hearing on this the same night and made a recommendation to you unanimously. And again, there were no public comments during that public hearing. And now you have, as the council, have the opportunity to consider the Planning Commission's recommendation and take action on the proposed amendment. So North Main Street is an interesting place. It's an intercity highway. It has been for a very long time. It's where the streetcar, well, not the streetcar, the interurban went earlier in the 20th century. It was the way to get from Provo to Springville, and really, is part of Highway 89, which connected all of the towns north and south through its corridor. It really has had minimal planning over time. We've assigned a zone to it. We talk about it in the general plan and the economic development plan, but somewhat inspecifically, but also make recommendations that really haven't been implemented yet. The development's really been uncoordinated in terms of the development's relation to itself and to each other. And it has really abrupt transitions. Like we go from the old strong shops at the north of the rustic building to immediately somebody's side yard. This is a picture of it within all of your memories, which really just surprises me. But this is just before the road went in to connect up into Clough. You can actually see that this first part of, or this southern part of the Clough subdivision going in down here. So Mill Pond Road is just about ready to come through.
Is this early 90s?
Late 90s, I believe.
Spanish graves over there.
The what?
The Spanish graves, where your cursor was. Does anybody remember being called that?
What?
Okay.
No.
That's a new one to me, too.
Oh.
I've heard it, but
I spent so many hours looking for Spanish graves, never found any, but I thought it was cool.
Did you find any gold?
No, but where that dirt road connects over there.
At the,
to the right.
Not by the white spot.
And then to the south a little bit, right up in that area is Spanish graves, yeah.
Oh. Didn't know that either.
Huh.
Field trip.
Yeah. There's houses there now, though, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, kind of. There's those pits up there that are on the fire road. You know, if you ride it and then it kind of dead ends right there into somebody's backyard, that was part of it.
Interesting. So the current, and I'm sorry I can't remember the exact date on the aerial. I got it from the county and I did have it. I may be wrong. The current designation up there for the general plan is commercial, and it's a very general designation in the general plan. In our new general plan, will have more nuance to how we designate the uses and the character of places moving into the future. But currently it's commercial, which is basically everything that's not residential and industrial. The proposed designation for these two properties is to designate them mixed use, which would permit a mix of commercial and residential, or would again, back to the, it would establish a policy that the city council would like to see these two parcels develop with a mixed use. Our current planning, the draft, as represented by the draft North Main Street or Springville North Gateway plan, is for this intersection of 1400 North and Main Street to really transition into a gateway as the primary north entrance into the city on Highway 89, and to really establish a character there that communicates to people driving through that they're entering a place, that it's not just part of the kind of endless stretch of between town highway, but they're actually arriving somewhere. It's a different place. Let's start watching out for people that hopefully are crossing the road for lunch and feel like we've arrived in Springville. The intention for these gateways is to be mixed use and higher intensity with a range of desired uses running from single family attached residential, so townhomes, all the way through to office, retail, hospitality. The current policy is really represented by the current general plan, and in Objective 2 in the land use section for the general plan, it tells us to provide and maintain cohesive residential neighborhoods with a wide variety of housing types and densities, which include the services and amenities that contribute to desirable, stable neighborhoods. And then a strategy under that objective is to utilize rear property lines or natural edges, such as creeks, hillsides, and open space corridors, to transition between land uses rather than local streets. And this proposed general plan amendment accomplishes that objective and employs this strategy. In Objective 3, the general plan recommends that we include a variety of appropriately located multifamily housing units to help ensure a variety of housing types within the city, and gives us Strategy 3E that says we should consider inclusion of a residential component in commercial property redevelopment for areas adjacent existing residential neighborhoods, which is applicable to this situation. Then in Objective 4, reads that we should provide conveniently located commercial and professional office uses to serve the residents of Springville and surrounding areas. And there are three objectives under this, three strategies under the objectives. The first is to establish design and material standards for new commercial development, to amend our ordinances to allow for mixed-use commercial nodes at appropriate locations, and Strategy G, to consider decreasing commercially zoned property and increasing residentially zoned property to help ensure a better wide city land use balance. So in this case, the proposed general plan amendment aligns with the goals and objectives of the general plan. It facilitates a zone amendment that would be appropriate to implement the policies of the general plan. And it particularly provides, in combination with our proposed zoning amendment, for high quality development, especially in this key area in the city that's going to really become a focal point in our community. It also really improves the appropriateness and the quality of the transitions between the development on these vacant properties and the single family attached residential neighborhoods to the east. It enhances commercial and housing options for the existing neighborhood. So the recommendation again from the Planning Commission is that the City Council approve the proposed general plan land use amendment. And that is all I have on that. I'm open to your questions.
I just have a question. Is it difficult to change? So we want to apply. Oh wait, are we looking at motion number 2 at the same time? The zoning official zoning map applying the Main Street South Gateway?
I just reviewed the land use. Those,
okay.
those,
So we haven't gotten to that
those
one
will be
yet.
two separate motions and
Okay.
two separate ordinances.
Okay, then I will wait.
Okay. And I can make both of those presentations, and then you can act on both of those, or you can take action, and I'm happy to accommodate however you would like to proceed with that.
Let's do the first one first, and then we'll do the second one.
What was the new hawk signal that you had labeled in the diagram? No, go back. Yeah, that one. It says new hawk signal down at the bottom.
Oh, so there's a recommendation in the draft plan that we evaluate a hawk signal somewhere to accommodate a potential alignment of the Spring Creek Trail. Now that that's moving forward, we'll be able to have more clarity on that through that process.
What is that?
Oh, what is a hawk signal?
It's also called a pedestrian hybrid beacon. It's the one where you push a button and it like flashes red and then solid red, and it's basically a signal for just pedestrians without vehicular cross traffic.
It's what you have on 3rd South in Provo before you get to University on 2nd East. There's the bikes and the pedestrians can cross there, but it has a median, so that you can't cross from north to south on 2nd East across 3rd South.
Right.
And it has that overhead signal with the one at the top, and that's a hawk.
More like a signalized crosswalk, but not
Yes.
like this.
Correct. It's not a rectangular rapid flashing beacon. I just don't remember what the hawk stands for.
It's definitely a forced acronym because I don't remember it either.
Not like RRFB isn't, but we don't say, it doesn't roll off the tongue.
Hawk
like
is cuter than RRFB.
Yeah.
Remember.
It's also called a toucan crossing because two can cross bikes and pedestrians. But it's implemented typically through a hawk signal.
Oh, that's okay.
So apparently some engineer had birds on the mind.
Yeah.
Eating his Fruit Loops in the morning.
Okay. Logan? Sorry, it looked like you were about to say something.
No, just I was going to say I don't have any further questions on this one.
Great. Then I'm ready for a motion.
Okay, I motion that we approve ordinance number 16-2026, amending the general plan future land use map designation from commercial to mixed use for parcels 23:015:0050 and parcel 23:015:0051, located at approximately 1450 and 1300 North Main Street, respectively, based on the findings in the staff report.
I'll second.
Great, it's a roll call vote. Karen?
Yes.
I vote yes. Logan?
Yes.
Mindy?
Yes.
Great, thank you. Josh, continue.
All right. So second, we have the zoning to consider. The current designation on the northernmost piece is professional office, and on the southern piece is highway commercial. So the professional office is here in the gray, and then the highway commercial here in the red. The proposed zoning is to apply the Main Street South Gateway zone here, and I do apologize for the bad naming. A number of planning commission members pointed out that why don't we just call it the Main Street Gateway zone?
That's what I was going to say.
Yes, we'll get to that.
Thank you.
But for now, we're applying the currently named Main Street South Gateway zone
To the north.
to the north. And this is from the description of that zone, that it is intended to promote high-quality mixed-use development with strong urban design standards. So as a comparison between the Main Street South Gateway zone, it allows a broad mix of residential and commercial uses and requires development patterns that look like a downtown. It requires the use of high-quality durable materials and has the flexibility to accommodate transitions to surrounding existing development. In the highway commercial and professional office, it's really auto-oriented site design. It's what you have there today. It doesn't allow a more vibrant mixed-use development that we're looking for, and it does not actually really require or regulate the street presence of the development, so you can end up with the type of development we have there, which backs away from the street and doesn't really communicate that you're arriving in a place. In terms of the transition to adjacent uses, the Main Street South Gateway zone includes height and form transition standards that protect the nearby residential areas and step down the building scale where appropriate, and really try to reduce the impact related to the massing and intensity of adjacent development. In the PO, the max height is 35 feet. In the highway commercial, it's 75 feet. In the Main Street South Gateway, it's 45 feet. But adjacent to residential, it's a maximum of 35 feet. So in general, the height, the permitted height under the current and proposed zoning is either the same or lower.
How is adjacent defined in there? Is it directly abutting by parcel lines, or is it within a distance?
It's a distance, actually, to the parcel line. So there's actually some standards in the existing ordinance that do limit. So the highway commercial is really based on a certain distance from the property line, and then for every foot past that, you can go a foot higher in building. So you basically get a 45-degree angle of height allowance. And in the Main Street South Gateway zone, within a certain distance, you can only be at 25 feet, and then you can go to 35 feet, and then you go to 45 feet by connecting the 35-foot and the 45-foot heights together, and the height restriction follows that diagonal line.
Except here we're dealing with a hillside.
Correct. So it's all based on elevation above grade, so it actually benefits the view shed of the houses to the east to have the grade falling off into this development. So they don't get to pick their height from the grade of the houses to the east. It's from the grade where the structures will be built.
Okay. Thanks.
And I generally try to shy away from talking too much about the proposed development when we do a rezone, because I really want everyone to understand that as we do consider a rezoning, we're not considering a site plan, and we need to be comfortable with any results that that proposed zone may yield. But in this case, where we are working with the Clyde companies, I have high confidence in the development proposals they've shared with us, and generally discussed with the Planning Commission that on the eastern reach of the southern parcel, so basically if you draw a line straight south from the rear of the 7-Eleven, everything behind that line will be 2 to 3 story townhomes, and they'll also be constructing a public road connecting down to the next street to the south, on the south side of the Old Sage Inn, through that property to the rear of the Old Sage Inn.
Oh, okay.
So they're providing public right-of-ways, and we've done they've been very collaborative in working towards what I think is a really great site plan. So I'm confident in informing you that the intended development on that is townhomes, and that on the north side it is the same. That north side has very little street frontage, just enough to get a road in, and the intention for that site is to be developed as townhomes.
Have you seen those drawings in detail? Like, you kind of have a good idea of
Yes, in plan. I have not seen any architecture, but I have seen them in plan, and they have gone back and forth with us in Troy probably since about October of last year, but in a way that really actually yielded them a better development, in some cases a little more development opportunity, and got us public streets and good access and really good neighborhood design.
Okay.
I'm really excited about it.
Are the 3 stories closer to the existing neighborhoods than they are Main Street, or is it 2-story then 3-story? What does that look like?
I'm not entirely sure.
We had some concerned citizens about that particular.
The 3-story townhomes are the narrower floor plan, and there may be some of those on the east that abut kind of a public green or courtyard that is in between the townhomes and the road that cuts down from 1400 North through the middle of the site. But with they won't be any taller than, a single family house in that zone could be 30 feet. And then with the grade, you're catching quite a bit of grade. So even if they do go to that 35 feet as a 3-story townhome, we don't anticipate that the impact would be nearly the same as if they're on level ground, and it's going to be substantially less than somebody building a 75-foot building out on Main Street, which they could do under the highway commercial zone.
Got it.
So it's a reduction in potential height impacts.
How does that 45 feet compare to the heights that are allowed in the development across from Meadowbrook? Where we have a
That's
stacked-
35 feet.
The stacked ones are 35 feet?
Yes.
Okay.
Though those ones also sit on kind of a higher grade too, so there's a few extra feet.
But it's still 35 feet to mid-gable. They do.
Right. I guess I'm just saying that like they may feel higher than a 35 foot elsewhere.
Yeah, they sit 18 inches. The floor elevation of those units is required to be 18 inches above the walk, essentially, to give you appropriate transition to the porches and the interiors. So they may feel a little tall, especially just their aspect ratio. They feel kind of tall. But yes, that's a 35 foot max height.
And some of those are literally looking right down into people's homes. It's not going to be like that up on the north end, right?
It may be. Just like I look down into my neighbor's backyard, or if somebody was to build a house, even Westfield Central, if somebody just built a house next door instead of Westfield Central on the road that cut through, that house could be 5 feet off the side property line and look right down into their backyard. So yes, there's going to be buildings where there weren't buildings, and there's going to be people looking into your yard where you didn't have before, but it's not going to be a 75-foot office building. And from the planning, from our perspective, from the planning department, it's an appropriate transition between the intense commercial development of Main Street and the residential development to the east. It's basically a 5-foot difference in maximum height as we taper down, and it also adheres to that general plan recommendation that we do those transitions at rear lot lines instead of on streets, so it happens at that rear lot line of the existing homes and of the new homes. There will be, at minimum, there's going to be an alley between all these townhomes are alley loaded, so you'll have the fence at the rear of the existing homes, and then you will have an alley 20 feet at least, and then you will have the rear of the new units. So there's not going to be anything closer than an alley, except potentially on the south side where they turn a little sideways, in that kind of southeast corner of the site. But generally, they will conform to the code.
Great.
What's the rear setback?
I can go look that up.
There is no rear setback.
Yeah, the Main Street South Gateway doesn't really deal with rear setbacks.
Right, because we haven't done any residential in the South Gateway Zone. We've only done commercial.
We have the townhome project to the rear of the Jefferson School was constructed under the Main Street South Gateway Zone.
There was no setback on those.
There was an interior side yard setback on all of them because that constituted the interior side yard of those units. So yes, adjacent to the residential, they had to have that setback.
Okay. I'm just thinking in terms of where we've seen this applied, are there changes that we should consider based on how it's worked out, right?
Yes.
Or you're looking at this development, do we look at that development and say, you know, we should have put in a setback, or we should have done this, or, you know, where we've had that perspective with other changes that have gone into other developments of realizing what we didn't see going into it?
The biggest thing for me is actually the connection of courtyards or pedestrian ways to the right-of-way and also units facing an exterior property line. Those are the two things. So at the Jefferson School site, the northernmost units on 100 East face a landscaped area that is adjacent to the north property line of that project. So they're essentially facing into a landscaped area and then the perimeter fence. It's not good to have units that don't have units across the way looking back at them. You don't want to just leave one side of the room kind of open and exposed, and it doesn't give those units a good feeling of enclosure in that outside space when it's just kind of unbounded and it's against the wall. You don't want to have your front door opening out onto somebody's side yard. And then in the rear of that project, well, I mean, if it's all right, I'm just gonna just speak to that. So this is that condition I'm talking about here. This is not ideal. This is a condition I don't want to have repeated generally. And this condition here, where these rear units front on a courtyard or a pedestrian green, but that doesn't actually connect to the public realm of the street at all. So they kind of feel just shoved back here, stranded in the back of this alley without any real visual connection to the street. And so this is the other condition that I'm concerned about. This side yard condition here is and at least from my perspective, is fine, is acceptable. But it's these interior and arrangements of how the buildings face the exterior property lines that's more problematic. But in the proposed development in this area, we have much more space in all instances between the property line of the existing homes to the east and the proposed development, which normally I wouldn't say, but I feel comfortable on this rezone because of the partner we're working with to say that I've seen the plans and they addressed our concerns where they've been vetted, multiple revisions, multiple rounds of review. If it was just a kind of perspective or a speculative rezoning, I would make some changes to the code first, but in this case I'm comfortable with the development that's been proposed and I'm highly certain as to what's going to be built.
But the risk is still there.
But the risk is still there.
So you feel comfortable applying the Main Street South Gateway Zone, which was designed specifically for this area down here, and applying it up north, that it would cover everything even up north that when it was specifically looked at for down here?
Correct, because we're trying to accomplish the same things in a similar context up there. We're still on Main Street primarily. We have a transition to residential and less intense development to the rear of Main Street. And we want high quality development that adjoins the street, and it checks all the boxes for the development group and checks our boxes. But there's definitely still work to be done and much work on the zoning code across the board that will be forthcoming.
Can I ask, we've talked kind of a lot about how this project might interface with neighboring residential on the east side. I'm curious what it would look like, not just under this particular developer and their draft plans, but what would the Main Street South Gateway Zone kind of look like as it fronts on Main Street, especially where you have these really skinny spots kind of between the driveway of 7-Eleven and the office park just south of there, or north of the, what's that used car dealership?
Yeah, the Automax.
Yeah. So some of those, I guess I'm thinking of places where we've already applied the Main Street South Gateway Zone, like the Art City Auto Body over here. Really great building that kind of replicates some of that traditional Main Street aesthetic that people want. How does that work on these kind of skinnier, almost flag lot shaped pieces?
Yeah, interestingly, the one to the north that's a very legitimate concern. This one here to the south is actually almost 300 feet long, so it's almost 3/4 of a block. So it's actually a substantial amount of frontage.
Okay, and I didn't remember that the driveway for the 7-Eleven is part of this parcel, so that helps.
Yes, so what the plan is to introduce a public street here that will run back into the property and intersect the public street that runs north and south from Spring Mountain or 1400 North down to 1150 North. And there will be commercial buildings, potentially multi-story commercial buildings directly adjacent to Main Street here, and some buildings actually along this street with the parking to the rear of those buildings, creating a good street frontage here, and then rerouting the access to the 7-Eleven through the parking lot of this building to actually be able to put a building here and then move the driveway back. So it will create kind of traditional downtown urbanism form there.
Cool. Glad to hear that.
And would in any, and that's
not just specific to this
no,
proposed development.
That's the result that the Main Street South Gateway Zone would deliver. In this case, this really is essentially a flag lot. We have just enough room to bring a 59-foot street through here with some landscaping on either side, and the road is intended to continue kind of on a southeasterly direction here, kind of aligning with the topography and actually a fault buffer in here to provide access to townhomes on either side and to provide a potential connection to a future road or access that could come through this site in the same position it is on the south, essentially creating another intersection here. But we have no idea when or if that would ever happen, but the proposed design for this site does accommodate another access. And the Main Street South Gateway Zone requires all buildings to front on a public street or on a pedestrian courtyard, or on a courtyard of a certain minimum dimension.
Okay. Anything further?
No, just the recommendation that we, staff recommends that this amendment is consistent with our planning objectives and the vision that we have and are continuing to refine for that area, and that it really has the tools in it to get result in high quality development. It comes to you with, again, a unanimous recommendation from the Planning Commission.
How difficult would it be to eventually in the future change the name of the Main Street South Gateway Zone?
Very, very easy, and that name may not survive the zone rewrite overhaul process, but
or
it
would
may
be changed to take the south.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah, either way. I mean, it may even be.
Can we do it tonight?
No.
Okay.
Because that's
Yeah, we didn't
While I'm
notice.
Mayor Pro Tem.
We didn't notice a text amendment is probably not ministerial, but I'll ask him if it counts as ministerial.
No, I don't think it does.
I tried, Mindy.
Okay.
You could continue this, and we could go back through and redo it all.
Yeah, we could continue it and bring, but
It is, it is not South Gateway.
Correct.
So we just need to make it so that it is, when we say it, that it's understood.
Yes.
From what we
yes,
say.
it's definitely more of a matter of expediency, and we'll get it tidied up.
I know we're just in the way high overview phase of this thing. But just throw it out there that as this is going forward, the two concerns I have with that property initially are just the safety of traffic in and out off of State Street. And that's its own concerns right there. And just keeping in mind the impact on the existing homes as far as having a buffer is great. Anything that the developer can do to feel like they're looking at a home and not a solid wall would be nice for the neighbors. Just considering the cohesiveness of a neighborhood. We're trying to merge these neighborhoods and not create two islands of neighbors.
Absolutely.
So.
I'd entertain a motion.
I'll motion to approve ordinance number 17-2026, amending the official zoning map applying the Main Street South Gateway MSSG zone to parcels 23:015:0050 and 23:015:0051 located at approximately 1450 and 1300 North Main Street based on the findings in the staff report.
I will second that.
Great, it's a roll call vote. Logan?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Mindy?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Thank you, Josh, and I think you're up again. It's a lot of talking you got.
Chance to sit down.
Yeah.
So this amendment is actually related in terms of its origin to help advance the development of the northwest corner of this intersection, and also just to provide additional flexibility in the highway commercial zone, which hasn't been there and which I really regretted in the past. So currently the highway commercial zone requires you to have at least a 25-foot front yard setback, always, forever, in any case, no exceptions, and a street side yard of 20 feet. So if you're on a corner, you're going to be, the closest any part of your building is going to be to the street. It's going to be 20 feet. This proposed amendment reduces that to a minimum of 5 feet for both your street side yard and your front yard when the ground floor treatment standards essentially of the Main Street South Gateway Zone are met. So that's all the design elements of designing a building right when it's next to the street. And we now have one building built in that way, and I think it turned out well. So finally, out of all the ordinances I've thrown at you over the years, we have a commercial built example. Additionally, the primary public entrance needs to face the street frontage. It doesn't have to be on the part of the building that's at that 5-foot minimum, but it has to face the street frontage. And then 50% of the street-facing facade of the building has to be located within the reduced setback area. So you couldn't just have 10 feet of a 100-foot long building come out to 5 feet and the rest of it sit back 30, 40 feet. 50% of the building needs to be within that 25 or 20-foot setback.
You're talking about 5 feet as measured from back of sidewalk, not curb, right?
From the property line, which in this case would be at the back of walk.
Okay.
So in short, what this amendment does is provides a developer in the highway commercial zone the opportunity to build closer to the street if they design their building in such a way that it is appropriately designed for that location, but it does not impose any additional standards or restrictions on somebody developing just under the standard highway commercial zone. It just provides additional flexibility based on some conditions.
I have a question. So on that new example that it was just recently built, is that 5 feet off of the back of sidewalk?
No, the setback in the Main Street South Gateway Zone is not 5 feet. It's 0. It can come to 0.
Wait, isn't the same zone?
No, this is the highway commercial zone.
Where is this at? Oh, this is just a regular
Highway commercial zone in general,
in
but
general,
it was
not-
spurred by discussions with Clyde Capital about their development of the northwest corner of 1400 North and Main Street.
Okay.
I'm curious why they're sticking with highway commercial here versus the Main Street South Gateway Zone. Or is there? I'm trying to remember exactly some of the presentations I've seen, but is there no housing in this quadrant, or is
That's
there?
correct.
Okay.
The highway commercial zone essentially permits the development that Clyde Capital has proposed.
Okay.
So
Because there was some discussion of some homes, but that's maybe on the Provo side of things.
Correct.
Okay.
We have a minimum setback. Do we have a maximum?
There is not a maximum setback in this zone, no.
Okay. Interesting.
There is in the Main Street South Gateway Zone.
What is it? Oh, what's the minimum for the South Gateway Zone?
0.
Oh, okay. They fixed the door issue going out
Yes.
on open. Okay, great.
Yes. They did retrofit the
I saw it. It
storefronts.
goes inside. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because their door would have opened up onto the sidewalk.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how the building was designed. They just made a construction change without asking if it made a difference, because it seemed to them like, oh, we can capture some more space inside the building if we don't recess these storefronts, which actually if you look at historic photos of like Provost Center Street, people started doing that. So you had all these little shed roof, like 3-foot storefront bump outs on the front of all the buildings to get more interior space.
Oh, gotcha.
So it's a common impulse, but in that case, it violated the code and they had to go retrofit after the fact.
Still looks really nice.
It looks great.
Okay. I would entertain a motion.
I would move to approve ordinance 18-20-26, amending Springville City Code Title 11 Development Code, modifying the highway commercial HC zone front and side setback standards, allowing a reduced front or street side setback of not less than 5 feet when the building complies with the specified ground floor treatment, street-facing entrance, and facade placement standards.
I'll second. Mindy?
Yes.
I vote yes. Logan?
Yes.
And Karen?
Yes.
Thank you. Did you want to get up and say anything else, Josh? Okay. I believe that is it, but we have need for a closed session.
Just before.
Oh, yeah. Is that what you're going to go for?
It is, and I have an administrative report, but if there's council reports, that's fine too.
Why don't you go first?
Just very quickly, I think in one of your last meetings, you had a discussion about opportunity zones. We have somebody that would like to apply for an opportunity zone on one of our census tracts that qualify. So I have a letter here, if you're inclined to sign that in support of initiating a zone request. I'd appreciate your signatures tonight.
Is that Main and 4th?
Is it what?
Is it Main and 4th?
Main and 4th. No, it's really most of Main Street. You did discuss this, right?
Yeah, with David Dobbins.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, with David Dobbins. So the David Dobbins part of that. So yeah, it's basically the whole, all of Main Street. I don't think it gets all the way down to 4th. Does anybody remember back there?
Because it's by census tract, right?
It's by census tract,
Oh.
and I think this census tract stops somewhere north here. I could look it up while you're having your other conversation.
Didn't he say that what he was asking for was that?
It is related to 4th and Main, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe it does go all the way to 4th. I'll look it up here real quick.
I remember thinking my house was in this thing he was asking for too, but yeah. Okay.
But this is the letter that we signed saying that we're okay with.
Yeah, this is a letter to
Support it.
Governor Cox. You'll be able to read it before you sign it. That just indicates our support for the designation of an opportunity zone on the census tract that was being discussed, and that we have shovel-ready projects ready to go on that.
Great. Any other administrative reports from the council while we're here?
PAR board did a training for the 2 new members that came on this last week, and that went really well. So they've been introduced to the board.
Okay.
Utility board, Mike put together a really great training for those new board members and the current board members. So feeling really good about how things are moving there.
One of the suggestions in that board meeting was to have somewhat regular reports from the chairs of the 3 boards, so PAR, Utility, and Community. Mike kind of spearheaded that, and I know the mayor and Mike talked today on that, and the mayor is open to that. So if that's something the council is interested in seeing, since these are your boards, we can certainly work towards having kind of the board chair come report, and you'll have a chance to go back and forth. So I don't know if there are any interest or thoughts on that.
Can we add the library to that? I know they're required to do an annual report.
Yeah, library has to do it annually, but we could certainly increase the cadence of that if we're doing it more frequently with the others. Sure.
Great. The community board is hopping. Were you at? Oh, you were there. Yeah. Is it Deborah Hall, the new chair? She is, yeah, she's going gangbusters on that thing. And she invited the other community board members to begin attending some of these other boards just so that they had an idea of what was going on over there so they could be more informed of what those citizens were feeling like. A lot of energy, it feels like. Yeah, I feel like things are going good there.
And we finished reviewing the general plan, so.
Up to what we had, right?
Yeah, up to what we had. Yep. Now we have one more chapter, which was implementation, and I think that is being still reviewed at the consultants, so.
It's coming soon though,
Revised.
right? Ish? Okay. All right.
The tome will arrive.
Yeah. Wonderful.
So that census tract goes from 1400 north, actually to roughly 9th south, but it cuts at a diagonal south of 400 south, and it goes from 4th west to 4th east. So you basically have 4th west, 4th east, 14th north to about 900 south is that census tract. So it's basically our whole downtown corridor.
Great. Okay. Thank you. Anything else? Take a motion to close for closed session, right?
Closed session for real estate and litigation, and it's a roll call vote.
Okay. I move that we go into a closed session for real estate and litigation matters.
Great.
I second that.
Mindy?
Yes.
Logan?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
And yes for me.